Alright guys, this is bulk day 26. So today I weighed in at 189 pounds. So as you can see, the past few weigh-ins, it's been very consistent. I have not been under like 189 basically, I think in 3 or 4 days. So it's a good sign, like I've wanted to do, slow and steady progression, slow and steady. I want to gain about 1 pound every 7 to 10 days. So I just want to also talk about, I'm taking this bulk slow, like I said, slow and steady, and I'm trying to stay relatively lean as possible. And in my mind, I want to still have my abs visible and be as vascular as I can. But you also have to realize, if you guys are bulking or if you do want to bulk, the nature of a bulk is putting on body fat. That's just the bottom line. So no matter how lean I want to stay, I am going to still put on body fat. And you guys also have to keep that in mind too. So I'm just trying to keep it as minimal as possible. That is just something that has to be accepted when bulking. It's like, either what do you want to do? Be lean or put on size. There are negatives to both, because the negatives to cutting and staying lean are a lack of progression, in a sense of putting on size and putting on muscle and improving in weights. When someone is really lean or cutting, no muscle is being built. Most of the time, if someone's in a severe deficit, they have very low energy levels, it's harder to sleep. So there's positives and negatives to cutting, and the positives are looking shredded. Really the only positives to being lean are looking good and feeling light. Besides that, I can't think of any other positives. But then also with bulking, there are positives and negatives. We'll start with the negatives first. Negatives are, you're going to put on more body fat. You don't have to put on an excessive amount of body fat, but you're going to put on some body fat, 100%, if you're in a calorie surplus. And you're going to feel a little bit heavier. Really, those are the two main negatives that I could think of, but the positives definitely outweigh the negatives in bulking, because you're going to get stronger, you're going to feel stronger, your pumps are going to be better, you're going to get heavier on the scale, you're going to put on more muscle, and you get to eat a lot. I also forgot to say that was a negative when cutting down. You can't eat as much. But back to bulking, that's also a positive. You get to eat a lot. So there's a lot more benefits, and there's a lot more positives, I would say, when in a surplus than when in a deficit. Because when in a deficit, essentially you're just trying to look good. There's no other reason for it. Now, I'm not talking about maintaining your weight or maintaining a lean weight per se. I'm talking about when you're in a deficit. So for me, I know that, say if this bulk does not go exactly how I planned, but it will, because I'm going to make sure that I stay relatively lean and not put on too much body fat. But let's say in a fantasy world, this bulk does not go as I predicted, and I put on an excessive amount of body fat, and I get to maybe 225 pounds, which is absurd because that would be too much fat. And let's just say if that were to happen to me, that would not be a problem for me, because being chubby with excessive amount of body fat, it's very easy for me to lose it, because I could go right into my calorie log and fix my calories and slowly start cutting down the fat, slowly start lowering my calories. So for me, it would not be a problem. That's why in the last bulk, when I went very overboard, I knew that I would get lean again, because it's very easy for me to fix my calories and to lose weight. That's just for me. So basically, to sum it up, is don't be afraid to put on some body fat, because with the consequences of putting on body fat in a bulk, the positives outweigh the negatives by a long shot, in my opinion. So don't be afraid to get a little bit chubby. Don't be afraid if you're gonna have a little bit of a muffin top, because it's just the name of the game. Now, most people that I know do not do bulks in the summer. They wait for the winter. But if you're choosing to do a bulk in the summer, just work out like all covered up with a sweatshirt, with a long sleeve, if it really bothers you that much how you look. But do not be afraid to bulk up, because I think bulking up is a optimal way of trying to put on size and strength. So I just wanted to get that out there. But let's get into my leg day yesterday. So I had to work out at the little gym that you guys have seen before. And when I work out at that gym, there's only two things I can do for quads. That is leg press Well, actually three things: leg press, Smith machine squats, or barbell squats, okay? So what I wanted to do yesterday was I wanted to do a 10 by 10 barbell squat. Okay, I have done those before and it felt really good when I did it in the past. But yesterday I was running very late on time and I did not warm up very well. So after about 2 or 3 warm-ups, I just went into my squats. Now I do a pyramid. I start low weight and I go up to get to the highest weight I'm gonna go in that session, and then I stay at that heavy weight for about 2 or 3 sets, and then start going back down in weight until I get to my 9th or 10th set. Okay, that's what I normally do when I do a 10 by 10 in anything. I do pyramids, low weight to higher weight. Okay, and so yesterday, no warm-ups, really messed up my knees. So keep in mind, I said I was not able to do warm-ups. So that is what I started light. I started with a plate. I got my 10 reps, because the 10 by 10 means 10 sets for 10 reps. No matter the weight you're doing, you have to get 10 reps. So I got my first 10 reps. Second set, I upped the weight by about 25%. I got another 10 reps, and then I upped the weight again, and I got 10 reps. And then at that point, I started noticing that my knees were not feeling good. My knees were hurting. And even during those first 2 sets, they weren't feeling great. But when I started to get heavier, that's when I really started to notice it. All right. And then that's when I was about to jump into my 5th set, and I called it right there because I did not want to have any issues. And I also started feeling pain in my lower back. So I decided to stop because I do not want to risk getting hurt. It's not worth it. I could just go to leg press and finish my quads, and that's what I did. But even when I went to leg press, I did not go heavy at all. I stayed very lightweight, and I just got a nice squeeze. And I kept my feet low so I could really hit my quads. I was trying to pump up my quads at this point because, you know, my legs were pretty fatigued at this point, but I wanted to get a little bit more into them. And my knees were already feeling a little bit iffy, and my lower back was hurting a little bit. So what I did was I just ended up staying at the leg press for about 3 or 4 sets. What I did was I think only 7 sets of quads, but they were all pressing. So for pressing, that's pretty good. But I was not a fan of yesterday because the warm-ups messed me up. And yeah, so I do go and show you my quad pump. I feel like it was still looking pretty good. Like my quads were still pumped, but they could have been more pumped, I feel, if I had leg extensions in my routine, or even if I had a hack squat, because I would have liked to go really light on the hack squat if I was at another gym after doing those barbell squats. I would have tried to finish the 10 by 10 with hack squats. But besides the fact, my legs were looking good. They were looking good still. But I just showed you guys about one pose, just a flex, trying to get better with the posing as the time goes on. But once those were done, I went and I did my abs. Now, remember how I said it was late? So what I did was basically 4 sets of these cable crunches, and between these 4 sets I only took like a 20 or 30 second break, so I ended up getting a good pump with the 4 sets. And I do show you guys my ab pump. Now in this bulk I can still see my abs, which is a good thing. That's what I'm trying to keep, like I was saying before. And yeah, I know that they're not going to be as visible as time goes on, and I accept that, but I just want to be able to see them in pump checks, in all pump checks. All right, that's my whole plan. So I just want to get into real quick the importance of warm-ups, because when I don't warm up any muscle, especially the main muscle groups that do need warm-ups, like chest and legs, because, well, hamstrings not as much, but quads, because your knees, it can really affect you. It can affect your workout 100%. And in the long run, it can definitely affect you. It can affect your joints, it can affect your bones, and all that kind of stuff. I'll give you a perfect example. So my grandfather, he just turned 89 years old, and he cannot walk at all, really. He uses a wheelchair, or he uses a cane, or a walker, you know those kind of things. And he cannot walk at all, really. And if we look back at that, it is because he never effectively worked out his leg muscles, muscles in general, because muscle growth and muscle development are very important for your health, for your life. And so his joints unfortunately got messed up. That can be due to not effectively working out your muscles, not working it out the right way, and not warming up the right way. Because that's why warm-ups could be so important, you know, because right now how he walks, he depends on his joints to hold them up and his bones instead of muscle, because that's what the whole purpose of having muscle is. And then compared to someone that has worked out the right way, has warmed up correctly, has trained effectively, and has done proper form throughout their life, they would be able to walk at 90 years old, 89 years old. Because I personally know some older guys that go to my gym 90 years old, 85 years old, and they move like they're 40, you know, because that is all due to proper warm-ups, proper working out, and proper joint health. And that is what the importance of warm-ups can do. Because if I were to keep working out like as I did yesterday and just accepted the knee pain, accepted the back pain, that would definitely affect me long term, and that is something I want to avoid. So guys, please make sure you are warming up correctly, because you don't want to be working out and going through the pain of whatever's hurting during that workout due to no warm-ups, not warming up properly, because that can really affect you in the future. So that was just a little example of my grandfather. And yeah, so since I wasn't able to do my 10 by 10 yesterday, that really did bother me, because that's what I went into this gym wanting to do, planned to do, but couldn't get it done. And I still finished off my legs pretty nice. And yeah, so woke up at 189, been a consistent 189 to 190, so I'm very happy about that. And we're just going, so far how it's looking is that I'm going to start to see 190 in a few days consistently. I'm saying exactly 190, not even 189 as much anymore. So if I'm trying to predict the future, I would say that I'm going to be at 3,500 calories for another 10 to 12 days from today. If I had to pick an exact number of days, I would say 10 days from today. So, yeah, so far, so good. And we're just going to keep it going. I'm going to keep you guys up to date. Next workout will be full chest day, chest and shoulders. And I might throw in some shoulder presses with the Smith machine, because I'm working out at the same little gym again, and there is a Smith machine, but we will see. Definitely going to do some lateral raises for the side delts. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next video.